Hi, welcome to ArtStation. We're doing a web broadcast today. My name is David Thomason. I'm the founder, president, and artistic director here at ArtStation. We currently have a show running in our theater called Becoming Dr. Ruth, running through November 20th. Our next show in the theater is Plaid Tidings, which is a sequel to Forever Plaid. We also have 3 art exhibits coming up. And today we're interviewing one of the artists who's going to be showcased in one of our exhibits. This is Miss Olivia Thomason, who's joining us today, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, David. I'm excited to be here.
Good. So, can you just tell us briefly? I know there's about 25 pieces in the show.
Yes.
Can you tell us briefly how you would define the style and the subject matter?
Okay, well, I'm self-taught, so it's a primitive style. Some people call it folk art. Some people call it primitive or naive. And
Naive. I haven't heard that
naive.
term. Okay.
The subject matter is mostly memories of childhood, growing up in North Carolina, western North Carolina, and I've sidetracked a bit on that. I have other little paintings that don't depict that, but that's
Okay.
mainly what they are. I've kind of been labeled a memory painter.
Can you, speaking of memory, tell us, do you remember your very first painting?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It was a painting of the selling of Horseshoe Farm, which was by Uncle Furman's farm up in Horseshoe, North Carolina. And it was when he sold out, and that was the very first one that I ever painted.
What inspired you to do that?
Well, I tried it. When I started painting, I've always painted and played around with paints, but I mean, my greatest childhood thing was a new box of crayons. I just thought that was the greatest thing I could possibly get. And then I tried to paint, but I tried to paint like Rembrandt, and I just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it up because I thought, don't do this, you can't do this. So I was reading something one day or heard something about an author, and he said, write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, that makes sense. Paint what you know.
Paint what you know, yeah. Great.
So that's how I started, basically painting memory paintings of what I know and what I grew up with.
So that's what inspired you to start back painting.
Mm-hmm.
Great. You mentioned that you grew up in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Can you tell us a little bit about that community?
Oh, when I was growing up, it was like Mayberry.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. It's very, very cosmopolitan now, but it was very quaint, very sweet. And it was me and my dogs and the bikes, and I knew everybody in town.
Right. So that's the inspiration for the subject matter for the painting, the people, the churches. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my grandmother was very, very religious, and she basically raised me. And so we were at church all the time, and I had the privilege of going to baptisms at the river, and all-day singings, and tent meetings, and then watching her and her rural living, making soap, and just doing all the things that people did. And I wouldn't give $1,000 million for all those memories.
Right. Sounds very familiar to my upbringing in eastern North Carolina on a farm. I'm really interested in, do you have a memory of the first painting you sold?
Well, I don't remember who bought it, but I couldn't believe they bought it. Because I was just painting for my own, I guess, edification, just own pleasure. But it made me think, I thought, wow, I can't believe somebody bought this. And then when I was working with the Oxford bookstore, they opened a gallery upstairs. It was called the Arts Connection, and a very nice man, Joe Perrin, who is art emeritus, I believe, at Georgia State, came down to see me. He said, I understand you paint and would like to have some paintings. So I took them up, and that afternoon they called me and asked me if I could bring some more that they had sold.
Wow.
And I was really in shock.
Well, for those of us in our audience that don't know who Joe Perrin was, very, very well respected, incredible artist who was the head of the art department at Georgia State for years. And he lived in Clarkston, which is right down the street from us, and was here all the time. when he was living. So that's a great honor that he visited you.
Oh, he was so nice to me, and he just kind of took me under his wing. And when I opened the Primitive Eye Gallery, I called him. I said, Joe, I want you to come down and look at this place and see what you think. So he came down, he walked around, he said, just do it. So I did it.
Well, that was going to be my next question. We all know that during the 90s you had a very well-respected gallery called Primitive Eye, which was on Ponce near the farmers market. Can you tell us about that experience?
Well, everybody thought I was crazy for doing that, but I thought, now look at all this traffic going that market. Well, somebody's got to stop here. And they did. It became a destination. There was no walk-in traffic, and it just did marvelous things. And I met the most marvelous people, those customers and artists, and we just got all kinds of awards. And I was just, I was happy. I was happy there.
Was it just your work in that gallery?
No, I represented about 125 artists.
That's what I thought. Yeah, great. Wonderful. So can you tell us about, I know of at least 3 of your very well-known paintings, but can you tell us about some of those? Like one time when Atlanta won the World Series?
Oh, wow. Well, we didn't go to the World Series, unfortunately, but we went down there when they were, I think it was after the first game, and it was just fabulous. They had trailers and buses from all over the world, and it was just, I thought, I'd never seen anything like that before. And I just could imagine what it was that night when they won, how it must have looked.
And what was the title of that piece?
It was Angels Over Atlanta, because somebody that was doing that broadcast, they said something about, we need an angels, and that's why I thought, yeah, you do, because I was glued to the radio or the television watching this.
Right, we all were. We recall that. Also, being from North Carolina, I know you have a great connection to Western North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the painting that you did of Carl Sandburg's home.
Well,
Who is the poet laureate, of course, of the state of North Carolina?
oh, yes, and his goats, his wife had these goats that she raised, and when I went up there to kind of look around, and they're still there. The descendants of the original goats are still there, and they're wonderful. They're billy goats, and they have these beards. And they're just wonderful.
And they climb all over the place.
And the simplicity of his home is what makes it so beautiful. It's just sitting there, and they have the glassy mountain behind it, which is not real big, but it's enough to give it a great big, background.
And that's located in Flat Rock, correct?
That's in Flat Rock, North Carolina, which is 3 miles outside of Hendersonville.
Which has a wonderful theater, by the way, called Flat Rock
Yes, right there
Playhouse.
on the corner. Carl Sandburg is on Little River Road, and the Flat Rock Playhouse is also there.
Okay. Tell us about the other painting that's very well known about the city of Decatur, Courthouse.
Oh, that was a commission that I was asked to do, and the patron liked it so much they took it to the people that put all that together, and they decided they wanted to make that as their poster. So I was thrilled to death.
And that was for the Arts Festival, right?
That was for the Decatur Arts Festival.
Decatur Arts Festival, great. I know that here in Stone Mountain Village, the Main Street Stone Mountain and the Downtown Development Authority commissioned you to do a painting of Stone Mountain Village, which we have featured in the lobby at ArtStation, but it's also been reproduced. It was a welcome sign to Stone Mountain Park until a car recently destroyed it, but we're going to put that back up.
15 minutes left.
15 minutes of fame. Okay, I'd also like to share with our viewers that we, ArtStation, me personally, and you, our relationship goes way back to, I think, the mid-90s. ArtStation's been here for 31 years, so it all kind of runs together. Do you recall?
You fixing
coming
to
here?
date me.
Yeah, and me too. But do you recall your first experience here?
Oh, just a wonderful play that we came to, and I can't remember the name of it, of course. It's been that long.
We've only done like 350, so
Right.
yeah, it's understandable.
But, I've been coming here for years and years, and every time is a pleasure and a wonderful experience.
Thank you. That's what we pride ourselves on, making people comfortable here, that the arts are not an isolated event. You don't have to be dressed up and stuffy, and you know, you're going to come see something that hopefully you're going to learn something, you're going to be inspired, and you know, all of those things that the arts do that you and I know and that we now are sharing with our public. So,
I hope they'll come because it's a diamond in the rough. It really is.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're very excited to have your show coming in. We've talked a little bit about your background. Can we talk specifically about the kind of paintings that are going to be in this show that's coming up?
Well, there's about 25,
Mm-hmm.
and they're they're memory paintings of growing up in western North Carolina. I've deviated some. I have a pretty large one of when Johnny comes marching home, which I have represented all the army factions in the town and the flags coming. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
What about the holiday piece, Christmas piece?
A Christmas piece. That was just inspired by Christmas, of course, and then we've made cards from that, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
It's been
Okay.
well received.
So of these 25, how many of them are recent?
Well, I'd say 99% of them are recent because I was infirmed.
Yeah. Can we talk about that a little bit?
I broke my leg.
She had a little accident and was you were confined to home for quite a while,
Yeah.
and that's when you did about 23 of these paintings.
That's what all I could do was sit. So I thought, well, we'll sit and paint.
So the creative energy came out, made something positive of the incident,
Right.
and I think it's fascinating that people know how you do that. Can you talk about the manner in which you paint as far as flat painting?
Well, one time somebody said, we'd love to come and see your studio. I said, well, if you'd like a table by a window, that's just perfect. I'd
Okay.
love to show it to you. That's what I paint on. It's
Uh-huh.
a table. I paint flat. I've never been able to do that, the easel,
Mhm.
and I don't know why, but I can't. I paint flat, and if it's big, I put two chairs together and do it that way. It just has to be flat.
And the perspective I always found very interesting. Like the piece we have in the lobby, I remember when you were talking to us about how you created it, that you painted flat, but you also walked around as you painted it, right?
Well, it's hard for me to reach over that
Mhm.
far, so I walked around and maybe do a corner over here. And over here. Depends on the size of the canvas.
Okay. All right, so basically the show coming up, we're going to say it's about your memories from all walks of your life. And we are opening that show on December the 3rd with an open reception from 6 to 8 p.m. in the evening. And that show will run through January 23rd. Our gallery hours here at our station are Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 5 and Saturdays from 10 to 5. But we're also open 1 hour prior to all of our theater performances. And our theater performances are Thursday through Sunday. So people also that come here to the theater get a chance to see her incredible work, which will be in the downstairs gallery, which we call the Trolley Stop Gallery. We also have a very special Champagne Gala coming up on December 10th, and that'll be at 2 o'clock here. You'll be able to come and meet Olivia and talk to her about the artwork. Hopefully it's not all sold by then. But we do have a rule here that it does have to stay up through the end of the exhibition. So everybody will get a chance to see the work, even those pieces that have sold will still be on exhibition. So is there anything else that you would like to add?
I've just been thrilled to be here with you today.
Okay.
And I'm looking so forward to the show and wishing everybody a happy holiday.
Thank you so much. And you know what I just realized I left out is Olivia is a local artist. She lives like 3 blocks from here. That's one thing that's so exciting about being able to host her here at the Art Station. Information at 770-469-1105 or visit our website at artstation.org. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.